I'm back. Part 4. Making a coffin. Not your usual coffin, not your standard coffin, but a coffin that's personal, that means something. Not just the gentleman who we were looking after, but to his family, to his son and his wife, to his neighbours and to his friends, because when they see it, they'll all just smile and think, that's Trevor. That's Trevor all over. Trust him. It's not quite finished yet, and I'm not going to show you inside just how to respect a family. Although Trevor's not in it, obviously. It's just, I think that should be for them to see first. So here it is. I went down to a company called Balfour Carpets, because I put a post on social media, and I put that I were looking after a gentleman who loved false grass, artificial grass. And I'd had an idea, and I'd said to his family, why don't we make a coffin out of artificial grass? So here we go. Rest in peace. And that's it. I've got to tidy it up still, and there's some bits that I've still got to do to it. But I've had enough for today. So, yeah. I've just put a name. These are refolders that I were on about, as I told you. So what happens with them is, that screws off, and then funeral directors put the screw in there. And then to cover that screw up, because if nobody wants to see a screw, you twist it and it goes back on. It's locked back on now. That's how we screw coffins down. There should always be 6 screws. Yeah, I know some use 4, we use 6. Your nameplate on this particular coffin is silver, because it's not the original one what's going to be on it. This has just been put on just to show you. So, nameplate's going to be there with this gentleman's name and details on, which I'm not going to put on social media and all that, obviously. That's just to show you what they like. Look there, look how clean they are. Thank you, Mr. Hemmingham. So, let me just show you something. I bet they buy them all back, because they'll be brass, them. They're not, they're silver. These are for burials. Silver's burials. Hang on. But look, they're plastic. That's all. I can't snap it. I ain't got strength today, I'm sorry. That's all they are, they're just plastic. They're a couple of quid each, that's all they are. But this one's obviously now no good whatsoever, because I've knackered it, and just to show you that it's no good, I will, there we go, I busted it. That's all they are, they're plastic. Undertakers don't buy handles back, they don't buy refolders back, they don't buy at-rest back from crematorium. They don't get them back free of charge, they don't want them back, because basically everything with a coffin by law has to stay with the coffin. That's how it is. You're not allowed to open a coffin at the crematorium. So you'd have to open the coffin to take the loved one out, to send the coffin back to undertakers. They don't buy coffins back. If they did, we'd need, well, we'd only need a few coffins, but we'd need a size for everybody. Somebody who's 4'3" be, I don't know, 12. Somebody who's 6'5" be 25. We need a coffin for that person. We'd need a coffin for absolutely everybody, every single size. We'd need somewhere like IKEA to keep every different coffin. Because somebody could walk in and say, I want a Balmoral, I want a Windsor, I want a Chatsworth, I want a Hardwick. You'd have to have a size for that particular person in that particular coffin. You'd need IKEA, obviously. Undertakers don't buy coffins back. So yeah, it's coming on. It's not finished yet, but at least it's all wrapped. That's the main bit, and now I've just got to neaten it up here and there. But it's, I don't know, it's got to be 6 o'clock-ish, it's in that region. So I'm going upstairs for my tea. I just hope that Trevor's family like it when they come to visit. But more than that, I hope Trevor actually likes it. And one day I hope I meet him in spirit world, and I hope he says, Nanny, absolutely perfect. Just what I'd have picked myself. I've lost two people who I think a lot about this week. I lost Trevor. Oh, Trevor passed last week, but... And then yesterday I lost a mate called Mick Jackson. He lived down in Bognor Regis, and Vanessa's his wife. And I worked with Mick 30 odd years since, and he was one of the most down to earth, loyal, kindest blokes. I know everybody says it about everybody when they've died, but he genuinely were a really, really nice bloke. He'd do out for anybody. He weren't very old. He was only 60, I think, Mick in his 60s. And he passed away yesterday suddenly at home. And his wife sent me a message to tell me that he passed away. And I was gutted. Because decent, nice people, they get took early. And scum, trash and vermin, they always seem to be alright, don't they? Walking around with a can in their hand and all these parasites that live off other people, they always seem to be alright. And your ones like Mick and Trevor, that's just how it goes. We all die, don't we, obviously. But one day, if I meet somebody called God, I'm going to ask him, what on earth were you playing at? Do you know what I mean? Why did you leave us with all scum? Because apparently he's in charge, isn't he? He's gaffer. He chooses who goes and who doesn't, Christians believe. What on earth's he messing about at? I don't get it. Why take my mate Mick Jackson? Why take him and leave some at vermin? Don't make sense. Does not make sense. I'm very doubtful. Well, I'll not be going to Mick's funeral because obviously Bognor Regis is a long way to travel. But when I find out when his service is, I'll be taking a few minutes out to pay my own respects to him. And knowing Mick Jackson, he used to have a can for me and some chocolate. He was ever putting chocolate on Facebook. So if Vanessa is watching this, and probably not, or anybody who knew Mick Jackson, my heart goes out to you. Doing this job sometimes, looking at coffins, and nobody's promised tomorrow. Nobody. I keep saying to you, this is all mess I've made, lads are going to go mad. Lads are going to be thinking, what's he been up to again? He's been fucking about, look at mess he's made. Dave Hemmingham will be in it morning. I'm going to clean all that up and I haven't had my breakfast yet. This job does sometimes make me wonder. Because one of these coffins could be for me. Who knows? Scary thought, innit? But you can worry about it, but it won't make no difference. Because apparently, when your number comes up, that's it, you're off. Thanks for taking trouble to watch me today mess about making a special coffin for a special person who I will miss massively on social media. I really will. Because Trevor was just a nice guy. He loved gardening, and his garden's immaculate, even with its artificial grass. But he were a miner. That's what he did for a living. He worked underground, like my granddad did. And he worked underground all his life, just about. And when I met him when his son passed away, and we were just chatting, and he was sat in his chair, and he were reminiscing about pit and being in mines. And I says, I can't imagine what it were like, Trev. And he says, to come up in cage, Michael, and to feel breeze, because it were windy down pit, but it were a different type of wind. It weren't a nice wind, it were warm, it were always a hot wind. And that's why a lot of time they worked in the pants. But he says, to come up and to feel sun on your face, and to smell grass and trees, it was something that I could never describe to you. You'd been down there for 9 hours, 10 hours, just working with a flash lamp. So I get why he liked plastic grass. I understand it. I get why his garden's immaculate. I understand it. 100%. So I just hope I do him proud. And whichever funeral director down in Bognor's looking after my mate, you've got a diamond there with you. Look after him. Thanks for liking the channel. I'm going to farm tomorrow. I'm missing farm, I'll tell you. I've rung up today and see how my donkeys are going on, and John says they're alright, they're not bad. Stop ringing up all the time. 4 times, 5 times, 6 times a day checking on things. They're alright. Sheep's alright, lambs are alright, chickens are biting everybody as usual, and donkeys are fine. So, hey ho, everything's fine, nobody's missing me. I'm going to put this on, I think. It's it's a few months since, it's 6 months since I made a coffin. I don't know what it is about making them, it always seems to, there's something about it. It connects you more, I think, to death and to that person. It's not just a box, I call it a box, but it's got to be right, hasn't it? Look after yourselves, take care. Thanks for liking, thanks for leaving me a comment. I will give people a shout out. I've got a list of names, but I will give a shout out, I promise you. I'm going to write them all down and then I'll go through them all. It's just I just pick camera up and turn it on. Thanks for sharing my channel, and thanks for subscribing if you do subscribe. If you're on TikTok, I can see who's watched it, but they don't subscribe. Do me a favour, it don't cost you a penny, just press subscribe. That's all I want you to do. If you don't, why waste your time watching it? Some people watch it and don't even press like. If I watch out on TikTok, I always press like, just to acknowledge to people that, yeah, I took time out. But we're not all the same, are we? Thank God. Because there's some scum about. Thank God we're not all the same. Right, I'll show you it in darkness, because I'm going up for my tea, then I'm going to come back down and tidy around. You'll hear ding dong, it's that up there. When somebody comes through this door here, just notifies us that somebody's coming. So that's Trev's coffee. I'll finish it. I might finish it later, I might finish it tomorrow, who knows. But, I'm sorry I wobbled a bit. Alright, take care, ta-ra, look after yourself.